With the end of the year, one can't help but reflect upon the state of humankind. The past year has not been great. From a practical perspective, one could not be condemned for believing that the world is going to shit. Disease, war, inflation, it feels as though existence is ticking down towards something even more catastrophic. Here in beautiful California, where my family has lived since the 1850s, I am witness to the chaos, degradation, and decay. Murders are up, along with all forms of violent crime, homelessness, and drug overdoses. Schizophrenic junkies shit on the streets of San Francisco, while sprawling tent cities have become the norm in LA. California, the fifth largest economy on the planet, where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, has turned into a third world nation. In truth, Western civilization as a whole hasn't turned into an Orwellian totalitarianist state. No, instead it's the brave new world as portrayed by Aldous Huxley, where it's all about pleasure. That's right, pleasure. The pleasure obtained by the endorphin rush you get from your smartphone, placated, compliant, pacified zombies, spoon-fed, insipid bullshit by the powers that be. Testosterone levels in men have gone down, while the identity of the female of the species can't be identified. We who were once warriors now live in a society where victimhood has become the highest order of being, where you are of higher value not by what you've accomplished, but by what rung of the repression ladder you've been born on. I've recently asked who tamed the beast, as in, how did humans become civilized? Most want to believe that Yahweh did the taming, that he first created us as whole civilized beings in the Garden of Eden, and it was our fall from grace that led to our decline. And a belief in him restores us to our natural civilized state. Sure it does. Yahweh didn't tame the beast, but instead put the beast in a cage, and since Yahweh is one of the masks worn by the trickster archetype, this isn't surprising. Look around you. Your primitive instincts tell you you shouldn't be here, live like this, but you continue to do so. This is because the trickster god, even when you think you've turned your back on him, still holds sway over your psyche because his grip is so very tight. Tight not only on you, but on Western civilization as a whole. He tells you to look up, always, instead of looking out. I'll tell you a little personal story. Now, I worked in a warehouse where it wasn't uncommon for a bird to fly in through the large roll-up doors. Most of the time, that bird would find its way back out, but not always, especially if it were a hummingbird. For some reason, they couldn't find their way out, and you couldn't catch them because they were too fucking fast, and the ceiling was way too high, so they would eventually die. This is because their attention was directed upwards always, instead of simply looking outward. Those who choose to stay in the cage become tribal, so it becomes us against them, but that tribalism keeps dividing downward into smaller and smaller groups until chaos becomes the rule. All sides think they're fighting for what's right. They think they know what's best for all of those still in the cage. Why do they stay in the cage? Because it's all they know, and they are unable to believe there is anything outside it. They've acquired the little corner of the cage and are content. Or they want to believe they are. But they innately know there's something wrong, so they try to soothe their barbarous soul with alcohol, drugs, or porn while they lie to themselves, muttering, "I am content." Now, some might be asking, what are you saying? Should we leave the cities and towns and go out and live in the wild like hunter-gatherers? No. The cage is a state of mind you've limited yourself to out of ignorance and a false sense of comfort. Having no idea that for many thousands of years you were once freed from the confines of the civilized world. In conclusion, liberation is still available to you. Just as a dog is still a wolf at its core, the primal sinistrous nature is still there deep within your genetic code, your inherent makeup, no matter your race or your culture. You're still that savage, that beast that wants out of the cage, whether you realize it or not. You just gotta stop looking upward and instead look outward. Until next time.